Coming like to whatever I've read, up to since I've bought the ticket about Inglorious Empire, that makes me think that isn't that mostly empires are inglorious, and even coming to the present times where we see post 9/11 what has been happening, and what the atrocities have been, in Syria lately, and before that in Iraq and Afghanistan. So what are your thoughts, and also including Indian-occupied Kashmir, where people are fighting for their freedom, and here there's another perspective where a man is a freedom fighter to one and a terrorist to another. So what are the lessons that would you see, because with your profound experience and your long association with the United States, you see that what are the takeaways and what can you really tell the present government of India?
On Kashmir, it's a rather complicated story, as you know. I am not a fan of partition. I understand many Pakistanis are, because they wouldn't have a country without it, whereas I think we wouldn't have all the hostility, conflict, and wasted energies.
But isn't it about, sorry to interrupt you, but isn't it about time that this should be accepted? Okay, now Pakistan is there. It's been 70 years.
Yeah.
And let's resolve the issues and let's talk about Kashmir. And how long will we keep on talking about Kashmir and keep this as a bone of contention?
I'm not, you are. but the point is...
But with your profound experience with the United Nations, I see you somewhere,
Yeah, no, but just to answer that, I mean, the thing is that what Pakistanis often fail to appreciate is that there is a big difference in the logic underlying partition from two different sides of the border. Pakistan is created as a result of one party wanting a state for people of a particular religion. Now, the Indian nationalist movement never bought into that logic. It always claimed to be a movement of every faith, every religion, every caste, every language, every color, and so on. And it never accepted the logic that because Pakistan had been created as a state for Muslims, that what remained must necessarily be a state for Hindus. In fact, the Indian nationalist movement explicitly rejected that logic. And so it looks to its Muslim majority districts and one state with pride, as belonging and affirming the idea that religion is not a valid determinant of nationhood. Religion, frankly, the kind of logic that led to the creation of Pakistan would have been the kind of logic that would have been considered disreputable to express in India, that speaking in the name of one faith or one religion would have been seen as bigotry rather than as a national cause. So this is the fundamental problem, that there are two different logics at work. One seeing nationhood as inhering in faith, and the other seeing a large, diverse nation in which people of various backgrounds can overcome differences of caste, of creed, of color, of culture, of cuisine, of conviction, of costume, and of custom, and still rally around a consensus. And that consensus in a diverse country like India is that you don't really need to agree all the time, so long as you agree on the ground rules of how you will disagree. That's how we've been able to manage consensus without consensus, how we've been able to preserve, through our democracy, this astonishingly diverse land. And to us, therefore, the only way that works is if everybody feels an equal ownership and equal stake. And whereas there have been secessionist movements in other parts of India, they've been put down through a very effective combination of either law and order enforcement on the one hand, or political co-optation on the other. So that yesterday's rebels and secessionists become political candidates today, chief ministers tomorrow, and given the vagaries of democratic politics, leaders of the opposition day after tomorrow. That's essentially the way it works everywhere, except in Kashmir.
I admire...
Because we have a neighboring state that fuels it.